Good morning, Captain.
Oh, good morning to you.
Well, good morning to you.
I'm not your captain. It's actually good afternoon. Hi, I'm Mike Delaney. This is my greetings to you from Sonoma, California. I'd like to give a big shout out to the Berlin High School class of 1961. Well, I really wanted to be there to visit and share old memories. It just wasn't practical for me this year. So I'm sending along this video in my place. Unlike most of you, I only spent my junior and senior year at Berlin High School. Those were two of the happiest years of my life. Although a latecomer, I was accepted as one of your own, and I am grateful for that. And if you guessed that I'm reading a script, you're exactly right, because when I get in front of this camera, I can't remember stuff. So I had to write it down. Please bear with me. Early on, I managed to form a friendship with John Stansfield through our mutual love of the guitar. While he was far more advanced than I was, his lead with my rhythm seemed to work. Also, it seemed I had a voice, sort of. I was able to sing some of the current rock and roll songs in a passable fashion. As time went by, John and I decided we should try to get some other guys together to form a group. At first we conned Sam Cole into playing the piano. Phil Woodruff was a reluctant saxophone player, but he really wasn't into it. And we just needed to get some drums to make the group complete. And somehow I heard about Charlie Cornish. Went to pay him a visit. Next thing you know, the Cavaliers were formed. We met on a regular basis over at John's house. His parents were real cool about the whole thing, giving us the freedom to make our noise. Eventually we thought our 5 or 6 song repertoire was ready for the road. We put out the word that we were for hire. In order to be professional, we needed to look like performers. We needed clothes that matched, you know. Problem was that nobody had any money. We scraped together what little money we could, and John and I went out and bought some sweater vests for the group. They were medium blue with black trim. Very stylish. The uniform was black pants, white shirt, and our sweater vests. And I'm not sure, but there may have been a black clip-on bow tie in there somewhere. Our first gig was some function at a church in New Britain. I was the only one with a car, and I wanted to clean for our first gig. Now mind you, this is the middle of winter. That was okay. I washed the car. And after washing the car during the day, everything was okay until later on in that afternoon and that early evening when things started to really get cold. And the first sign of something was wrong was when I couldn't unlock the driver's door. It was frozen solid. Cigarette lighter and a little hanking around with the thing, finally got the thing open and I was able to get into the car. We had already loaded our stuff in the trunk and loaded the rest of the stuff in the car, and we all drove on up to New Britain, up to the gig. When I got there, tried to open the trunk. Seems the amplifier was inside and that's what we needed for the gig. Well, couldn't get the trunk open. We tried everything on that trunk. Hot water, cigarette lighter, nothing worked. We played around with it for an hour, couldn't get it open. So finally, we were kind of desperate and we went inside and found out they had any kind of amplifier we could use. Turns out they had a movie projector that had a audio plug-in on the side, that a little kind of little tiny little speaker in the thing. So that was our amplifier for the night. Wasn't much of one, but then again we only made $5 a person on the gig anyhow. So it all worked out. It was kind of embarrassing, but we got through. Well, eventually Phil decided that the group wasn't for him, and he moved on. So we needed a saxophone player. I had an old friend from Canton, a kid I grew up with, named David Talmadge. Went to see him and talked him into joining our group. The only problem was, Canton was quite a ways from Berlin. So, being as I had the car, we drive on out there. A couple times I think we practiced at his house. A couple times I went and got him, brought him back to John's house where we practiced. And that was our group. Actually, it was pretty good by then. Dave was a good sax player. Sam was fantastic on the piano. Charlie Cornish was just terrific on the drums. And of course, John on lead guitar was outstanding. And me, I just strummed along, you know, did my funny singing. Well, along came senior talent night. Of course we were there. Well, we rocked the house. We just knocked them dead. We ran through our whole repertoire, and they kept wanting more. Those old folks really wanted to hear some more rock and roll. We didn't have any other songs. We'd messed around with a few, but we just didn't know them that well. One of them comes to mind is Lucille, by the Little Richard song. And Charlie did one hell of a good version of that song. Problem was, he didn't know all the words. So we just said, well, we got to play something. They're standing up wanting an encore. Charlie, sing what you know of it. We'll fake it. So he did. They loved us. They didn't know. They didn't know all the words of the songs. But anyway, we got through the senior talent night. It was a great time. Then along came the senior prom. And we kind of got asked to play, or we went and asked if we could play. But anyway, we were the band for the senior prom. Only problem was, by then I had quit school. And Mr. Landry didn't want me in the group to play, so we were kind of banned. I had to go and talk to him, and kind of got down on my hands and knees and turned on the old Irish charm and talked him into it, and finally we were able to play. And that was a real good feeling to be there at our senior prom and be the group that played. I even got to dance once or twice, I think. During my time with the Cavaliers, I joined the drama club, Ernie Spieler's drama club, and that was a kick. That was a real hoot, working with Ernie Spieler. If there ever was an English teacher or a drama coach or a drama teacher, he was the best. In fact, got to like him so much that when I finally got married in October of '61, I asked him to be my best man. Don't know why, but I did. And then during the drama club time, we performed. I remember Sam and John and I were in this production of All My Sons, Ernie's production. And of course, we were a big hit. It was just a good time. And I'm sorry to say I haven't seen Ernie Spieler since that time I got married, but I hope that all good things came his way, because he was good. As with all of you, my life has taken me down many different paths. Some of them were good and some not so good. I'm happy that one of those paths led me here to Sonoma. Sonoma's a small town in California, much like the small towns in Connecticut. You know, everybody knows everybody. If you go to the grocery store, you bump into all kinds of people you know. It's just a slow, laid back. It's a wine town. We grow a lot of grapes around here, and there's some pretty good wine that comes out of this area. Having worked here for the past 16 years, I come to know a lot of people that were born here and still live here to this day. And they have roots, which is one thing I lost 50 years ago when I left Berlin. I think they've grown back here, so this is where I will stay. And closing down this corny bit of drama, just like to say that I'd like to say thank you. Thanks for allowing me to be part of your lives. Thanks for being part of mine. This video will be available on YouTube. I'll put a link up on the bottom of the screen here when I get through editing this thing, for any of you guys that want to watch it on your computers. But anyway, I just want to say thank you. Y'all have a good time. I'll be thinking about you. Wish I was there.
Good morning, Captain. Well, good morning to you. Do you need another mule skinner down on your new mud run? Hey, hey, hey.